You're volunteering for a clinical trial and wake up unable to breathe or burst. These clinical disasters killed patients, bankrupted companies, and rewrote the global research rule. What really went wrong? Stick around, this could actually save your career. Imagine this, a morning sickness pill given to millions of pregnant women create 10,000 babies born without arms or legs. Or you sign up for a clinical trial thinking you're helping science. 4 days later, you're dead. These aren't movies. These are the 5 clinical disasters that killed patients, bankrupted companies, and literally rewrote global research rules we follow today. What really went wrong? And why should you care as a pharmacy student or clinical research aspirant? Because these disasters created your GCP exam, your interview questions, your entire career event. 90% of drugs fail clinical trials. That's normal. But these 5 disasters, they exposed massive systematic flaws. Each one created one rule we still follow. Tuskegee, informed consent. Thalidomide, pregnancy testing. Vioxx, post-marketing surveillance. So ready to learn about the biggest clinical trial disaster ever? Let's go. July 1932, Macao Country, Alabama. 400 poor black men walk into government clinic promised free health care. The diagnosis? Syphilis. Treatment? Lies. Placebos. Even when penicillin became the cure in 1947, doctors watched them die. And the result? 128 deaths, 40 wives infected, 19 children born with congenital syphilis. Why did this happen? Zero informed consent. The government researchers involved treated deception as science policy. So how was this fixed? The 1979 Belmont Report gave birth to 3 sacred principles: respect for person, beneficence, justice. Every IRB, every consent form you see till date, they all are born from Tuskegee bloods. Pharmacy students, that 12-page consent form you hate, that Tuskegee nightmare created it. In 1957, Kemi Grunenthal launches thalidomide. It was marketed as being perfect for morning sickness. It was sold in 46 countries. No prescription needed. By 1961, 10,000 babies were born with phocomelia. They had no arms, no legs. In UK alone, there were 2,000 cases. Here's the most inhumane part of this. Though the company knew that animal studies showed nerve damage, they hid it, rushed to the market, called birth defects just as coincidence. But a hero emerged. FDA's Frances Kelsey blocked US approval and she demanded pregnancy data. Because of her, thalidomide never hit American shelves. As a result, the 1962 Cofer-Harris amendments were born. It stated that all the drugs must prove safety and efficacy before approval. Pregnancy categorizes A, B, C, T, X. That you see, it's all because of the thalidomide babies. Clinical research students, here's some info for you. Why does phase 3 take 3 to 5 years? It's all in the thalidomide. September 1999. 18-year-old Jesse Gelsinger joins University of Pennsylvania. Gene therapy trial for rare liver disorder. Day 1, adenovirus injection. Day 4, massive immune reaction. Multi-organ failure, death. What did the investigators find? 18 animal deaths unreported. Lead research, James Wilson owned stock in the gene therapy company. Multiple protocol violations. FDA then halts the 27 gene therapy trial worldwide and gene therapy field freezes for years. To resolve the issue, a strict conflict of interest rules were implemented, along with data safety monitoring boards mandatory and full transparency on animal studies. So, dear future gene editor, make sure you understand immune response basic first. It's March 2006. Northwick Park Hospital, London. 6 healthy volunteers test monoclonal antibody TGN1412 designed to stimulate immune system. Minute 0, first dose. Minute 3, first man screens. Minute 30, all 6 in cytokine storm. Head swelling triple size. Organ failing. What went wrong there? The monkeys used for the study tolerated 500 times higher doses. Not human, but the monkeys. So naturally, it became one of the biggest clinical trial disaster of modern time. To fix this from happening, the MHRA Elton Rule Phase 1 staggered dosing was implemented, where the biomarkers are applied before dosing. Would you volunteer for Phase 1? Comment yes or no and tell us why. This one had 2.5 billion in sales, 27 million prescriptions, but then 60,000 plus heart attacks. In 2000, Merck's Vioxx approved for arthritis. And just 4 years later, in 2004, it was pulled after NEJM proves 50% increased heart attack risk. What the pharma company hid was that Vigor trial showed 5 times more heart attacks. But FDA didn't fall for their claims. 4.85 billion fine. Biggest drug withdrawal ever. FDA Amendments Act 2007 was drafted which said mandatory trial registrations, results reporting and post-marketing surveillance. These 5 disasters aren't history lessons. They are your career foundation. Tuskegee gave birth to consent forms. Thalidomide made pregnancy testing mandatory. JES and conflict rules. TGN 1412 strengthened Phase 1 safety. And Vioxx, the pharmacovigilance students, Vioxx created your entire career field. Clinical research has never been more powerful or more fragile. Every dose, every signature, every line in a CRA sits on top of decades of hard-earned, often tragic lessons from real patients and volunteers whose story we just walked through. So whether you are a student, a doctor, a coordinator, a regulator, or just someone who might one day take part in trial, you are part of this safety net. Your question, your courage to say, this doesn't look right. That is modern research ethic in action. If this video changed how you see clinical trial, share it with one person who still thinks trial are just experiment on people. Ask them, after knowing these 5 stories, would you sign a consent form differently? Let that be the conversation that slowly updates our society look at research. Follow for more informative videos. See you next time, guys.